very much for making a date. Welcome back to the show. Now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says the current macroeconomic growth of the country continues to attract more investors. He stated this in an interview with Joy Business at the Germany-Ghana Investors Forum, which is being held concurrently in Accra and the German capital, Berlin. The forum complements the G20 Compact with Africa. It has seen German investors deepen economic ties with Ghana, especially in the automobile industry, where Ghana currently imports about $150 million worth of cars and spare parts annually.
Really, I mean, what we are seeing is a certain clarity with regards to the Compact of Africa and how Germany is looking at interventions to make sure that we sustain the type of progress that we have made. I mean, on creating Ghana as a true business hub for us to be a regional center on macroeconomic stability and fiscal consolidation, and now the gap between our investment needs and our savings capacity. How do you cascade in private sector investment for us to be able to then create the type of jobs that are required? So I think this is going to be a really invigorating dialogue. I think the signing of the VW agreement is an indication of things to come, because that's a major German company, and once that's done, it has a cascading effect on us setting up special export zones, making sure that the cooperation between German companies and Ghanaian companies are effective. So that becomes really the next layer as we move on after IMF.
Let's do some issues now in the financial sector. Now, Group Chief Executive of Standard Chartered Bank, Bill Winters, has described recent regulatory measures pursued by the Bank of Ghana as crucial in attracting investments into the sector. George Riafe has been engaging the visiting group boss of Standard here in Accra.
There were a large number of banks in Ghana. We can see with the benefit of some hindsight that there were some governance lapses and there was some capital weakness. So there were just, in some cases, it wasn't up to snuff. And the central bank took some decisive action and consolidated some branches, some banks, shut some banks, merged some others into stronger banks, and elevated the aggregate level of capital that's required for the whole banking system to make it a safer and sounder system. This is good governance. This is the right thing to do. Oftentimes it's prompted by some sort of a crisis or an event. Certainly in the UK, I was involved in a government commission after the financial crisis to restructure the British banking industry. And this is the things that are happening in Ghana right now are exactly the things that we recommended back in 2010 and 2011 be done in the UK. So I think this is good. This is good hygiene, good housekeeping, and I think the central bank has a clear plan and they're acting on it.
Would it make it more easier for you engaging people out there and even bringing in investment? Because it has been a concern in the past, and even the contagion effect. Now that the system is clear, everything is smooth for you, and you trust that the regulator would act when the need be, is it more easier for even helping Ghana raise funds and all those things?
Absolutely. Having a good, strong banking system and financial sector is critical for economic growth. And we all know that sometimes we don't love our banks, but having strong banks it's a necessary ingredient for good economic strength and good economic growth. So making sure that the banks are actually strong, but also perceived to be strong, is important, because it builds confidence that investors can invest safely and soundly without the disruption of banking crises, which do happen from time to time.
Still staying within the financial sector, as rural and community banks struggle to meet the Bank of Ghana's minimum capital requirements, there are calls for them to consider foreign direct investments. Now, it comes on the back of successful experimentation by the Netherlands-based investment firm Goodwill Microfinance and the Mwebeja Rural Bank in Accra, in Ghana. Now, the Mwebeja Rural Bank is the first to have met the minimum capital requirement of 1 million Ghana cedis for rural banks before the deadline elapsed last year. Prince Appiah brings you more.
For 5 years, July 2011 to 2016, Netherlands-based investors injected $1 million in Mwebeja Rural Bank. But why the Rural Bank? JCS Investments Limited is the local partner of Goodwill Microfinance, the investors, and the CEO, Patricia Safo, has been explaining.
We realized that the rural banking were well placed to actually be a catalyst in the rural economy. They have local knowledge, unlike some of the universal banks, and they empathize with businesses in the rural economy. And so we thought that they needed to be encouraged to support businesses within their catchment areas.
The equity investment had 3 exit plans: to sell the accrued shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange, to sell to another interested or prospective investors, or from Wabieja Rural Bank to buy the share investment, which the bank did. Board Chairman Nana Owusu Safwan II recounts the benefits.
So it actually helped in the expansion of the bank's microfinance portfolio. The bank had to buy back the shares and the Jetino 3.1 million Ghana cedis. The only thing to do to satisfy the shareholders is to declare all the shares, about 3.12 million, as bonus shares to be shared proportionately.
The injection increased its share capital from less than 1 million to 2.7 million cedis as at 31st December, above Bank of Ghana's requirements. The General Manager of the bank, Samuel Nyama Dankwa, says indigenous companies must position themselves to benefit from such investments.
We appreciate if Ghanaians, for that matter, will be the beneficiaries. But as it is now, it's like we don't have the resources now, so we'll have to rely on foreigners. So what I will do is that they partner.
With an ally that allows only 20% of foreign investment, Mrs. Safo says the rural banking industry must not fear foreign takeover.
Most of these people want to come in and help, make money, and also have an impact with this. And I think rural banks are well placed to provide all three: investment, returns, and a good impact. And we should be able to package them properly to attract that capital impact investment, which is becoming a big part of the total investment streak globally.
Meanwhile, the 5-year investment also equipped staff and shareholders with industry skills. Therefore, the call for more foreign direct investment is critical. Prince Apia reporting.
We're still live on the marketplace and we're still staying within the financial sector. The issue of panic withdrawals is indeed dealing a great blow to the financial sector. However, the savings and loans sector says it is not yet affected by the situation. Well, I have with me in the studio this afternoon CEO of the winner of CIMG Savings and Loans Company of the Year 2016 and also 2017, and also 2017 Best Outdoor Advert of the Year, Bond Savings and Loans. He's the person of George Ofosuhene. Congratulations, sir. Welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, tell us a bit about how the journey has been so far with you.
Thanks a lot. Before we start, I'd like to say a big thank you to our customers and the workers of Bond, and actually to also thank every single one of our shareholders for the contribution that they have made to this award. The journey has been, over a 10-year period. Very interesting, I must say.
Oh, so you chalked 10 years this year?
Yeah, we chalked 10 years this year. And we are delighted to say that it's actually very interesting. It has been a wonderful journey because of the fact that we have grown from a single office in 2008, and right now we have 12 outlets in the
Across
country.
Across the country.
Okay. And we also have reliable customers, trustworthy, who have been doing business with us over the period. Okay. We now have customers that number a total of 10,000 companies as well as individuals.
All right, so Bond Bond Savings and Loans won the CIMG Savings and Loans Company of the Year 2016 and also 2017. That's and right. Now 2017, you became the Best Outdoor Advert of the Year as well. Now, tell us, what's your magic wand? How have you survived these turbulent times to achieve this feat?
Very interesting. Not a magic wand, but it's actually born out of selected, systematic way of doing things over the period. We call it internal strength. Internal strength in the sense that we've actually developed structures, procedures, end processes that make it possible for us to continue to do business in a particular way. You know that one of the major things that we all need to focus attention on is corporate governance. Exactly. And corporate governance plays a major role, especially in our particular sector, where people trust you with their monies and they expect that you will be able to perform when they request for their monies. So over the period, we focus a lot of attention on developing ourselves and ensuring that we stay focused and on track. What I say is that banking has rules, banking has principles, banking has procedures. The best thing for you to do is to stay glued to the ground and ensure that you continue to do business the right way. That's what we have done over the period.
All right, so definitely there are some challenges that you have surmounted, and one critical situation now that is prevalent within the industry is the issue of panic withdrawals. Are you being hit by this situation?
No, we have not seen anything like that. We don't expect to see it. But I'd like to say that panic withdrawals for the financial services sector is a very serious problem, and it happens everywhere. Anytime an institution has panic withdrawals, survival becomes a problem. Now, what I'd like to say is that there is some level of speculation that is driving these panic withdrawals. And it's important that customers take their time to understand the issues that are at stake and not go through the process of withdrawing just for purposes of withdrawing or as an indication of what is happening in the system. I think that there is some challenge. There are challenges in the industry, but these challenges do not have to be something that should break the back of the industry. I say always that there are quite a number of financial services companies, savings and loans companies, banks, locally owned, that are doing very good business. And there's the need for all customers to take their time, understand these, and not go through the process of...
But would you blame customers? I mean, if they are seeing all these mishaps happening around and they decide to go in for their monies, do you blame them for such...
No. Customers must not be blamed. But the issue actually becomes ensuring that they are well educated, well informed, so that they don't do it just on the premise that people are taking their money, so I must go ahead and take my money from my institution, even though I don't have any reason to worry. Sometimes that's where the problem comes from. And it's just for purposes of reacting because I've heard something relating to one particular institution, and then I want to do the same thing relating to my company.
Who is it that has the responsibility to calm nerves down at this stage? Is it the regulator, the central bank, or the companies involved?
I think the responsibility lies with all of us, including even the media people, because it is important that we don't create panic. These things come out of panic. The regulator is in the process of dealing with the issues that have created some of the challenges that we are seeing. As an association, which is the Ghana Savings and Loans Companies Association, we are also looking at the kind of things that we can do to strengthen the companies that are, in the industry, to ensure that these things can be, relaxed. Now, customers are clearly uncomfortable, and just like you said, there's the need for some level of engagement with them to reassure them, and that is what I think must be topical. It must come from the regulator, it must come from the companies, it must come from the media, it must come from every single person who is related to this industry.
Are you getting apprehensive of a new minimum capital requirement that will be announced shortly by the central bank?
Not apprehensive, but I think that as part of the process of strengthening the companies that operate in the industry, these are some of the requirements that we think the central bank is considering. But we at Bond, we don't have any problem at all when it comes to that. And I think that there are also other companies that are considering that. What I say is that there isn't the need for you to wait for the regulator to actually go through the process of increasing the capital requirements, because there are certain things that you have to look at as part of the process of strengthening your capital adequacy and also strengthening your capability to even do certain transactions. Because everything based on what the banking law dictates, you have to have a certain level of capital, and that's what we are doing. So we are already in the process of looking at how to get our capital to a certain level.
Do you have in mind any major propositions or acquisitions?
No, for now, none of those things have been thought about. We have a strategy in place. We have a business plan. We expect to develop ourselves to a certain level, and we are focusing on that.
Now, the Bond brand, would you say that it has really contributed to your success story, I mean, over the years and with you winning awards?
Yes, I'll say that the Bond brand has done that. Okay. We actually, right from the beginning, took the decision to develop the brand to a certain level, because brand awareness, brand quality plays a key role in the process of you being able to get out there in the market and develop the business that you want to. So over the period, we have developed the brand, and the brand has contributed significantly to the process of we getting to where we are right now.
So what is the future like, finally, for Bond?
The future, I'll say that we want to let our customers know that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come because we are focusing a lot of attention on driving the innovative technological side of banking. We believe that banking is no more where you go. Banking is what you do. So we are driving ourselves in the process of getting services, products to customers wherever they are, so that from the comfort of your home, you'll be able to go through the process of engaging with your customers and not focusing attention on engaging with the bank or with Bond Savings and Loans Company.
Many thanks for coming, Mr. George Ofosuhene.
Thank you too.
Is the CEO of Bond Savings and Loans Company Limited, and this company won the CIMG's winner Savings and Loans Company of the Year for 2016 and also 2017, and it's also the best outdoor advert of the year for 2017. Now, still staying within the industry, let's hear from the Managing Director of the Women's World Bank in Ghana, Charlotte Bedu, who says her outfit has not witnessed any panic withdrawal yet.
The negatives, I've heard of panic withdrawals. There were issues even about the Midland saga, and so you see people running to other places. But we are fortunate enough that we haven't had any panic withdrawals, because Women's World Banking has been there for more than 30 years, and the clients are okay with us. They have confidence, and they know that we are not running away with their money. We serve them well. We give them good customer service. So Women's World Banking have not experienced any negative effect, but I know some of my colleagues do experience the negative effect.
What about the lack of confidence? How is it affecting you because of what's happening?
You know, it is, I think that is a phase, and it will pass, because anything that happens, immediately people react. So when people react, you take the money, go and put it in the house, and then you remember you bring it back after a month, because you can't keep the money forever in your house. Obviously, there are still safe havens. There are still banks that are doing things right. There are still banks that are respecting the rules of the game. There are still savings and loan microfinance institutions that are doing things right, and you can trust them for your money. So if you are working with a savings and loan, you know, or a bank, make sure that when they publish the account, you look at the account very well. If you look at the account and the company is doing well, you will see it.
Let's turn our attention now to the mining sector. The local branch of the Ghana Mine Workers Union is asking President Akufo-Addo to sack the managing director of the Precious Mineral Marketing Company immediately. Kojo Parry-Hammond is being accused of procurement breaches and unlawful termination of contracts of some staff. The workers have threatened to deal with the MD if he reported to the office today. A petition is expected to be presented to the chairman of the mother union for onward submission to management of the company. Earlier, my colleague Norvan Akwa-Hayford spoke with the local union secretary of the union, Agnes Aiti.
Why have you decided that you're not working today?
We have condoned irregularities for quite too long. Honorable Parry-Hammond came into this institution with his own management style, which is not helping the company. He is flouting the administrative processes. He handpicks and then he promotes. If you don't gossip to him, he doesn't promote you. Exorbitant board allowances. He has risen the board allowance to 729%, while he gives the staff 12% in a year. They have had 26 board meetings as at yesterday. From January to yesterday, they have had 26 board meetings, and he's flouting the procurement process. We want him out. We have petitioned the mother union. We have put in a petition. There are so many things that we found in that. Now, we used to have 13 security people. Now we have 33 security personnel here. Where he brought them from, and we were doing an investigation, and it looks like they are not even registered. We don't know how true that is, but you can still go into details with that. All the staff want him to do is to leave because it's not making the work a conducive place for us to live. He operates the office, he operates the work from his office. He works in his office. He has set the management staff aside. He doesn't work with anybody. So anything that he's doing out there, it is in the unknown of the management staff. And we want all this to cease. We want him to go. If you are not his darling boy or darling girl, then forget it. He victimizes you, and then whatever he does, he will take you from where you are and takes you to another department where he thinks that you can't be effective. That's what he wants you to do. As you can see, the staff are agitated. We have condoned it for far too long. And today, we say Opare Hammond must go. The president must heed to our call. He must go.
So if the president probably does not listen to you guys, what are you going to do?
You take our next, you take our plan B. And that you can't disclose it. Because as you can see, this is the parastate. I don't know if there's a parastate down. So whatever you are doing here can raise money for the government. So if we even be the staff want to see to it that things are done properly for revenue to go to the government, I don't think the president should even control this. The president should say that Opare Hammond should sit here and then flout all these procedures and then spend the money that he's spending just like that. I know the president, as he said we should be citizens but not spectators. And I know that he wouldn't condone this action. He wouldn't condone this action.
All right, so Norvan, who has been following up on this particular development for the first part of the day, has joined me right here in the studio. Now, Norvan, has the petition been presented yet?
Yes, the workers presented their petition to the chairman and the general secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union. That's Prince William Ankara. Okay. They received it, and then they did indicate to them that they would forward this particular petition to the managing director and all the relevant authorities. They tell me, Prince tells me that they will present one to the ministry that, PMMC is under, Lands and Natural Resources. Okay. They will forward one to the Flagstaff House. And, but what is interesting that Prince also made me aware that the MD had called for a meeting this afternoon. So we expect that the leadership of the union will be meeting management of the PMMC, that is Kojo Opare Hammond.
Now, could you get the opportunity to speak with him earlier on phone?
Yes. I called up Kojo Opare Hammond, and who is the managing director for PMMC, and he did indicate that, he's surprised to see what is going on, and that he indicated to me he's the first to come into the office and the last to leave. And as of yesterday when he was leaving, nobody drew his attention to what was likely to come or the fact that the workers are not happy. He tells me he has very cordial relationship with his staff. And so
and what is his reaction to some of the issues that have been raised?
In fact, I raised some of the issues with him on the phone. I told him that he's alleged to have been involved in procurement breaches. He's alleged to have terminated the contract of some staff. He's alleged to have brought in they had few security men. He had brought in more of them. And he says those things are not true. So he's surprised that the workers are behaving the way they are behaving. That is what he told me. But I had also an interview with Prince, and I want us to hear what Prince, who is the General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, did say. He said that they would go the full length, they will have the meeting with him today, but if it does not yield the needed results, they may escalate the demonstration and probably impress on government to, see if they can see off Kojo Hammond.
All right, so let's get to hear what he says now.
For not to do anything reckless. So we had a series of complaints from our value members in precious minerals, and we did indicate to the MD that it's only convenient that we have a meeting to hear his version. Apparently, he made aware that he was on leave, and upon resumption from leave, we'll get together and look at the issue. Just yesterday, I had a letter from his office stating that though he's come back from leave, he wanted lawyers to be available. So the meeting that we would have had yesterday had been scheduled for the 9th of October. You can imagine how that looks like. How members were fed out the situation. In the fact they will have to really tell the whole world and Ghana what's going on in PMMC. We are very mindful of the fact that, look, any of us can be accused one way or the other. So we don't want to muddy the waters. The issues involved are one, breach of contractual relationship between us and PMMC, many infractions of procurement, board fees being adjusted without recourse to the approval lines, and a host of other infractions. We are very careful that we don't really throw in anything out there, because as we speak now, he himself, I'm sure that when he saw the heat, had called for a meeting this afternoon, and waiting that the heat will be on the board and he himself to tell us how far things had gone. Surprisingly, the MD did not recruit anyhow. Hitting that he called the shots and he has his own management style. Employees have been divided to factions, and as we stand here, there are factions that arguably might belong to his side but are here because of solidarity. So you can imagine when a system gets run that way, it becomes very, very bad. So waiting that the government in power must hear us. They appointed him, respect the structures, and the ministry must really come to the fact that you put people out there to deliver, and if they are not doing things right, it's only fair that you call them.
All right, so that was the General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, Prince William Ankra. Now, so what's next? After this?
As at the time I was leaving the place, the staff had gone back to their offices, but they are not working. They actually moved to TUC, and later they were asked to go back, so that the leadership, the local leadership with the national leadership, will go and meet the managing director, and we'll see what will come out of this particular meeting today. Initially, the meeting was supposed to have been on the 9th.
And do you know whether Dr. Hammond was in the office?
He wasn't in the office at the time, that we went in there. In fact, when I called him, I asked him, he said he wasn't in the office.
All right. Thank you very much, Norman Akwa-Hayford, and bringing us up to speed with developments at the Precious Minerals Marketing Company. We'll certainly be following up on this and bring you the details as the news unfolds. My name is Emmanuel Apwaji. That's it for The Marketplace. Have a good afternoon.